trip to Nepal this year was one of the most amazing and most difficult trips I've ever taken. I spent almost a year preparing for the trip, getting plane tickets, planning the route, learning Nepali, and finding a trekking companion. Meg agreed to come with me, even though she didn't really have time. But the most difficult part was getting our bodies ready. Minnesota is pretty flat, so both Meg and I had to find ways to build our leg muscles and aerobic capacity so we could actually enjoy this tough hike. And we lost weight. Between us, we lost over 100 pounds, weight we didn't have to carry with us on the hike. Finally, it was time, and after almost 2 days of travel, we blearily emerged into exotic Kathmandu, only to find that it was dirty, hot, loud, and overwhelming. But soon we were on the tiny plane that would take us high into the Himalayas to land at the most dangerous airport in the world. I loved the flight, but even I was shaking when we arrived. We walked right out of the airport gate onto the trail. No roads. The nearest jeep was a tough 2-day hike. But the superhighway of a trail up there carries everyone and everything. We shared the trail with porters, school children, housewives, toddlers, and hikers. The first day was a lot of downhill, and my legs got really sore. But the second day was worse, with a huge hill that took me right to the edge of my endurance. We made it, and found ourselves in a metropolis of sorts. Namche Bazaar is a surprisingly comfortable and civilized town in the middle of nowhere. A small hydroelectric project provides the best electricity we found in all of Nepal. We had hot showers, yak cheese pizza, and internet. Past Namche, we made our first trail friends. We had to take our time with the huge downs and ups, and new people meant new ways to keep our minds off the climb. Meg and I hiked as independent hikers. No group, no guide, and no porter. We felt tough carrying our own stuff, and we had no trouble finding our way. We stayed each night in sturdy stone lodges, with simple, unheated rooms. But as the altitude increased and the air got thinner, carrying our packs got harder. Heck, everything got harder. Bathing, keeping warm, even breathing. On our 9th day, we arrived in Gorakshep, the highest settlement in the trek, at just over 17,000 feet. One fork in the trail led to Everest Base Camp, filled with busy people preparing to climb Everest. I huffed my way up the other fork, a steep climb to the summit of Kalapatar. Everest was obscured by clouds, but I pressed on anyways, and when I got to the top, the clouds parted and I got my views. What a reward. Traveling down was still a lot of work, but I loved the scenery, the people, and life on the trail. The monsoon started early this year, so we hiked through a lot of mist, sun, mist, and then rain. Our last day in Lukla, I woke up to clear skies. I ran to the airport and spent the morning watching planes and helicopters move the people and stuff that had been stuck in Lukla for days. I had a blast. Finally, it was our turn, and we lifted off and left the Himalayas behind. A short stop in Kathmandu, and we boarded the bus to the other side of the country, to Chitwan National Park. The heat and the humidity of the jungle was a shock after the mountains. I thought I was going to melt. Instead, we took a dugout canoe ride down the river to see stunning birds and floating water plants. A guide escorted us back on foot, protecting us from one rhino and a pair of crocodiles, less than 10 feet down the riverbank. Elephants are a safer way to get up close to wildlife because the animals don't get spooked and we're up in the air. But our ride left me bruised for days. Elephant bathing time was a little more comfortable, or at least cooler. And then it was time to start the very long journey home. What an adventure!